What's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Brandon, the franchise buck, alongside his tag team partner, Bishop. What's going on, big man?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly fine.
Um, shoot, nothing much, man. Just chilling, recovering from the little holiday break, ready to get things back in motion. Um, Real quick though, under the banners, can you see This is KC banner?
Nope.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Nope.
Oh well.
And honestly, I tried adding it, and it said that we had exceeded. So we might have to do production and see if we get some special permission to delete one.
Yeah. Or yeah, I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll be fine. But anyways, folks, I mean, you know how it is. We like to do things and shoot from the hip, regardless. Technical difficulties, whatever the case may be. That's just what Bishop and I have done for the past several months, and that is not going to change. So sometimes I've said this until I'm blue in the face. Sometimes just got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. But with that being said, sorry about last week. A little bit of difficulties on my side, but we are back at it again. We are just going to swing it from the hip because there really isn't too much to talk about. Bishop, you might have talked about it last week as don't mind me if you're watching me on the live feed. I'm just adjusting my nose ring. The the abomination of the Pitt State Gorillas game last week, what have you. That was disappointing, but also it kind of segues into what I have to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. Taking on Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Jesus Christ. Anyway, my head's all kind of discombobulated. Let's give thanks to where the credit is due. But of course, you can follow us on the Twitter and on the Insta and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube at IE Sports Radio. If you go on YouTube, you should be able to see our feed right now. But if you don't, and you would like to see this episode in full visual collateral, go to YouTube, IE Sports Radio, look up This is KC Sports, just kind of scroll down on the videos that are playing. You can find us. This is going to be episode 74, and we'll be good to go on that. And then, of course, we have to give thanks to the people. Drea, what is going on? Thank you so much. Have a great show. We appreciate it. Absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you, everybody who's been chiming in with us in the chat rooms. You can talk to us live, talk to me and Bishop live on YouTube, on the YouTube chat. If you are watching this off of Twitter, it'll take you originally to the YouTube stream, and you can interact with us that way and all that good jazz. Taryn, thank you so much for, of course, always being a workhorse and supporting everybody, including us. We really do appreciate you. And Taryn, by the way, I did see this on my way home from work. Go Mighty Ducks, especially Ben Aff Duck. If you know, you know. Man, I tell you what. Let's go ahead and let me get settled, Bishop. I know you're already settled. Let me get settled because I'm a hot mess dumpster fire. And let's give credit where credit is due. Let's pay some bills really quick. And, folks, we will be right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Folks, we will be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Brandon the Franchise Buck alongside Bishop right here on This is KC Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Just in case I'm repeating and I'm saving everybody the return heartbreak, did we talk about HOA versus Pitt State last week?
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here trying to fix some, trying to like add some stuff.
You're good. Did you talk about Pitt State last week?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't.
Oh, wow. Spoiler alert, you didn't miss anything. I shouldn't make fun. I'm not making fun by any means. It's a new team. The fact that they went 8-2 and made it this far, even if it was a one and done chapter, that's fine. I just wish they put in a little bit more effort than a field goal, because the end all be all was HUA 48, Pittsburgh State University 1-2-3. And that's not a good look, especially for a team that used to be the most feared next to Northwest Missouri State in the early 2000s. So let's go. You're doing something, I'm doing something. So we'll just make two peas of a pod here. Looking at the stats and this and that, you really can't say much. For HUA, Brown had a touchdown. There's some other people for Pitt State. Nobody. I don't even need to talk about that. Nobody had a touchdown. I kept getting, for lack of better bit of technology, I was getting updates on my phone through people that actually live in Pittsburgh. And a couple of people that were asking me if I was watching the game, the answer was no, because I was dealing with the Kansas City Crazies. what have you. But I mean, 28 out of 10 first downs for HUA versus Pitt. You have 66 rushing attempts versus 22. When I say the first number, it's going to be HUA. Rushing yards, 518 over 39. Rushing average, 7.8 to a 1.8. That's embarrassing. And then when it comes to receptions, you had 3 receptions for HUA, who got 48 points, and 12 receptions for Pitt State, who got 3 points. That's terrible. That's junior varsity high school. That's junior varsity middle school.
Yeah.
Passing yards, 67 to 109, and then anything else that looks even remotely just absolutely insane. 37 minutes comparable to 22 minutes. That's not terrible. But the long story short, Pitt State did not show up. I don't know if it's just because of the young team and this was their first time in the postseason or what have you. That is not Pittsburgh State University that I went to college for. That is not that's not, for lack of a better term, how me, you, and our CEO used to joke about. That's not some backyard bullshit that Pitt State was doing. That was absolutely just, you did not show up to work, and it shows. And luckily, these kids are not being paid per game, because if so, I would be holding back the checks. Bishop, you've done your thing in sports and what and what have you. What do you take that as from just being a fan in sports in general, former athlete, yada yada? Where do you take that as?
Well, me, it's I hate to use the word unacceptable, because I don't want to use that word, because I know that they went out there and tried, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have showed up. They wouldn't have got off the bus or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I know they tried, but bottom line, unacceptable. I don't know if it was just poor coaching, poor preparation, which falls back on the coaching, and the leaders on that team. So, we quick to say, oh, this player, or in some cases, a lot of people say, oh, this coach.
Mm-hmm.
But as a team, as a collective unit, it falls on both. Because if I was out there playing, or if I knew that, hey, coach ain't getting us ready for this game, he or she's not doing what they supposed to do, I'm going to say something as a leader on that team. Hey, we need to bear down and focus on the task at hand. Somebody got to speak up. Somebody has to be a true leader and be like, hey, this ain't right. Hell, even at halftime, you should have knew, like, hey, this ain't going right. We got to do something different. And no one made adjustments. No coaching, no players. So it's just, and I was sitting there listening to what you're saying, and I looked up because I forgot MNU made to the postseason also.
Mm-hmm.
And they played Morningside, and they got steamrolled. Just pretty much like Pittsburgh State, man. It's 35-0, man.
Boy,
it almost seemed like they didn't show up. So these two teams, just thinking about it, I don't even want to look at the stats. I seen that the QB for MNU threw 2 interceptions, and it just looked horrible. So you put in all that work through preseason, during the off season, and you ready, you go to battle, whatever. You put in all that work, and then you end up. It almost seemed like it was. I don't want to say it was a waste because you made it as far as you made it.
Mm-hmm.
But why stop now when you make it to the postseason? The show ain't over. The show ain't over.
Yeah, no.
And
It's not over till you're holding that trophy.
Till you holding the trophy. And it seems like a lot of people, they get to the postseason, they just stop. You know, between these two teams, Pittsburgh and MNU, just looking at it, you know, you just stop. That's what it seemed like. So it was like almost a lot of hard work and dedication and time, blood, sweat, and tears. Was it for nothing?
You know, and this does not remind me to an extent, but let me paint the picture here. God, when did I first start with KKOW? I want to say 2006 or 8. Regardless, Chuck Burrows was still the head coach of the football team, and I was a bartender full time, and then I was a radio DJ for a classic country radio station on the AM side on I want to say just Sundays at the time because you know we all have to pay our dues. I remember that Saturday, the boys, and when I say the boys, I mean like the offensive linemen, one running back, and one wide receiver were all out just hitting the bars that night. And I was getting ready to close on up, and you know we still had about an hour left. And I was talking to them, and they were all telling me that they were purposely trying to lose towards the end of the season just so then it would send a message that the head coach needed to be gone. And the final nail on the coffin was Mr. Broyles getting himself a DUI. The president of Pitt State at the time sending out a letter to everybody, including staff, that this was under investigation and Chuck Broyles was not going to be on site until further notice, which we all know what that means. If you've been there before, you know how this movie ends. You know, they're going to have a one-sided opinion, whether it's factual or not, and they're going to go ahead and make dues and make PR. And, you know, Broyles was cut, and then we had Coach Tim, and he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he coached John Brown, who's somewhere in the NFL. Like, you know, he was with the Bills, he was with the Ravens. Now God knows where he's at. Maybe he's in like a fantasy football league in Oklahoma. I don't know where he's at now. But regardless, I mean, you know, he brought the championship regime back in before I believe he moved somewhere in Texas for another coaching job, and in which case here we are. I've seen it both with Olathe North, with them being 6-time state champions. I've seen it with Pitt State. I've seen it with other teams who weren't as successful, but they still had the passion. I think we've seen it multiple times with old school movies such as Friday Night Lights and Varsity Blues during the halftime talk. People just being like, what the F are you doing? You know, I mean, let's get back in there. I don't care what happened this first half. That's over and done with. Let's take care of business this second half. I don't know who was in charge of that. I don't know if anybody was stepping up to the plate player-wise to do that. Obviously, they didn't, and if they did, it went on deaf ears. But it is what it is. And the best thing you can say is that, you know, there's always next year, and that seems to be a Kansas City anything, whether it be Southeast Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri, or, in our case, Sporting KC.
I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that place. Somebody need to go over there and do a ritual cleaning of that park and make sure that everything is ready for next season.
I got an email, I think it was from Game Time or something like that, being like, hey, if you want like half a season ticket membership, you know, just put in your name with something deposit. I'm like, they're not even worth the $20 deposit. Like, I'll give you $5.
Yeah,
that's
right,
it.
Right. For season passes.
For season passes, and that's not even for the whole season. That's for half the season. Like, stop it! I'll give you $5 to make sure that money goes to charity. Don't give it to the.
Yeah.
Oh, God Almighty! What you got going on over on the Missouri side, boy?
Man, nothing much, man. MU, I think, didn't make the playoffs. You know, I thought they did, but I think if they would have beat South Carolina, they would have made it. So I think they're eliminated. As far as I know, I don't see. I don't know. I kept seeing mixed information about it, so
Right.
whatever. I don't know, but it's slow mo here around this time of year. It gets very slow for sports here
Yeah,
in
it
the
does.
metropolitan area, um, Kansas City or whatever. But yeah, but just to go like for MNU in Pittsburgh, it sucks because a lot of those kids are seniors.
Yeah.
And some of them will play football again. A lot of them will not. And it's just, I wish that people may like actually paid attention. Like when I was growing up, the way I was taught to play the sport of football, American football, it seems way different now. Like it's just they play the player or whatever instead of the ball. Like I was taught to play the ball, like focus
Yep.
on where that ball is at all time. And it seemed
Same.
like that coaching is gone now. Like even in professional, even in the NFL, you watch a lot of these players, corners, for instance, it's like no one's teaching them to turn their head to spot the ball or anything. It's just like they own the receiver, they own the receiver. And I'm like, if you would have turned your head or whatever a split second sooner, you would have saw where that ball was. It could have been a broken up pass. It could have been an interception. Like I just don't get it. No one, I don't know. The teachings nowadays just seem so weird to me, and I get frustrated watching it on TV. Like, come on, man! Like, play the damn ball. Know where the ball is at all times.
100%.
Won't have no problems. That'll eliminate a lot of the damn penalties.
Yep, it will, and it'll not only eliminate the penalties, but also the same sense it'll keep you more in your game. It will, you've got to be just using everything and then some when it comes to being, an athlete and what have you. And if you just don't have that, you're better off just being like me and just playing Madden and just doing a whole bunch of backyard bullshit.
There you go.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just what you got to do. 526. Anything going on the high school side? Because I sure as hell know Lathan North's not doing anything right now.
I think season has come to an end for football. Like I don't really watch much basketball, high school stuff. I know the season I think is done for at least some in high schools, um, football or whatever. But I think it's just basketball going on right now, and I don't, I need to start getting into that and volleyball, because so I can be more efficient like Taryn.
No, I know it. I know it. Well, on top of that, I need to do the same thing too because I was actually grabbing something from my mom's house. She lives right behind Olathe East, and I'm just like, something's just triggering me for a minute, and then I'm back on the scenic route to where I'm at, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. We're in December, so we're 2 months into wrestling and what have you. So I gotta holler at my old coach and be like, how are the boys doing over there? And I gotta check out my old teammate who's actually one of the coaches for Olathe North. And be like, how are your boys doing? And how are your girls doing? And this and that, yada yada yada. So maybe I'll have some amateur wrestling news next week.
Yeah, I was actually gonna talk to you about that at some point. I was sitting around thinking on ways to kind of redo this show a little bit, and so I was gonna get with you on that, on the wrestling situation.
100%, 100%. If it's Olathe schools or the on the Kansas side, let's just say that. I'm definitely down like a clown. We can just we can talk about that. I think we have a pretty similar game plan of what we can do. I don't want people being confused with what I used to do 7 years ago with taking chair shots to the head, but different wrestling, real wrestling, amateur Olympic wrestling. I still to this day, it's to this day. Okay, it's 2024, and when I I just got a message. Yeah, I know 2 weeks ago I was in the dark, and you're welcome. For those of you who actually see my face today, that's great. Yeah, I got to do something about this slide. Maybe I'll change it up next week. But To this day, 2024, I still have people when I mentioned them that I was a professional wrestler. Oh yeah, MMA. If it was mixed martial arts, I would have said MMA. I wouldn't have said professional wrestling. God damn it! No, I'm going through tables. My dumbass is falling off ladders in a suit and tie and falling off and landing into a table on television, and then asking the referee, "Did it look good on camera?" Because I'm concussed. I'm taking chair shots. I'm taking clothesline, body slams, powerbomb, suplexes, doing a Macho Man Randy Savage off the top rope. Professional wrestling. God.
MMA?
Yeah, MMA. Yeah, come over here. I'll whip something out for your MMA. Get the censors. No, that's a good thing. We'll talk about that later this week or tonight, whenever. We'll come up with a game plan because I'm sure that the folks that are watching this would love to hear about some other things other than football and what have you. Although they should be excited for the Chiefs, the luckiest team in the NFL.
Oh boy.
We got some things to talk about, boy, and that's a good segue. I think we're going to go ahead and pay some respects to the folks that are part of this team outside of this show. And then with that being said, we will be right back. Folks, this is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you so much for everybody that has joined us today, that's watching us on the live feed, that's probably going to be watching this later on. Dealing with myself, the obnoxious, the little brother, the big brother, the Steve Stifler, whatever you want to call him, Brandon the franchise buck, alongside with my tag team partner, Bishop. Of course, you could follow us on the Twitter and the Gram and the Book of Face and the TikTok and the YouTube at IE Sports Radio. If you're on YouTube, check out IE Sports Radio. We will be the first video that will be seen because we are live currently right now. In the future, if we are not live outside of Monday, you can just scroll on down, find episode 74, and you can get a replay and look at my disgusting face and while I pick at my nose, aka adjust my nose ring and deal with my obnoxious 2-year-old mascot, aka Lucky, with that. But thank you so much for the support on that. Of course, on the Twitter, follow us at thisisKC_IESR. And then, of course, you can follow me at Real Franchise. And then follow my man Bishop at XRunners with a Z. Of course, we have to give thanks to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky that's on a whole other planet. And then, of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Who, in the words of Andy Reid, holy Toledo. How do we keep doing this thing? How do we keep doing this thing? God almighty.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, absolutely. But my God, listen. You know, something we had established back in August when I was September when I was dealing with my heart problems at going like 158 beats per minute and whatnot. Yeah. Here's the thing. Again, at the time against a 2-9 Las Vegas Raiders team, they combined to Arrowhead. They put on a game of their lives, more so than us, and we still beat them by 2 points. And the luck of the draw was the final play of the game. Here's the thing. There's a lot. I hate using this word because it's so cringe, because we know the reason. But the controversial ending into the locker room with Travis Kelce just running into the locker room, not shaking anybody's hand. I get it because I was that athlete too. He didn't just go into the locker room because he didn't want to shake anybody's hand. He went into the locker room because he was pissed. Why was he pissed? He won. He deserves praise and this and that and yada yada. Oh, he's just pissed off because he didn't get a touchdown, so then he could be the lead scoring, whatever, and do the Tony Gonzalez dunk and blah 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 blah. No, had nothing to do with that. He was pissed because the Chiefs played like shit. End of discussion on that. Let's go down the highlights here. Total plays, 67 Chiefs, 63 Raiders. Total yards, 329 Chiefs, 434 Raiders. 7 penalties for the Chiefs, 9 penalties for the Raiders. 1 turnover, which we'll talk about here in a second. That was against Las Vegas. Third downs, efficiency or efforts. 7 for the Chiefs, 3 for the Raiders. 0 down efforts. 0 fourth down efforts between either team. Passing, 266 comparable to 318. 1 passing touchdown comparable to Las Vegas's 2 passing touchdowns. 63 yards for the Chiefs, 116 for the Raiders. No rushing touchdowns. Time of possession, 17:28. If it was 10 seconds higher, that would have been just ironic. But 18:72 for Las Vegas. 18 first downs for the Chiefs, 20 first downs for the Raiders, 14 pass first downs for the Chiefs, 13 pass first downs for the Raiders, 2 rushing first downs for the Chiefs, 7 rushing touchdowns for the Raiders, and then penalty first downs, 2 for the Chiefs. Nobody had a good game. It was all just kind of let's just grab the ball and let's see if we can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I you know, I'm happy for Pat for being the all-time franchise record holder quarterback, beating Len Dawson. I'm happy for him. I'm not exactly sure that's the play he wanted directly. It was kind of a miracle case because he got hit from the left. It was, looking at replays, it was a no look. So how Watson caught that, I don't know, but it is what it is. Travis didn't get anything. He did, but he didn't. He didn't get the award-winning touchdown. And the one turnover was when they hiked the ball and O'Connell wasn't ready and it botched, and we received the ball, and the look on O'Connell and Chris Jones's face literally says it all. My question for you, because I have my own views on this. My question for you is your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on Travis Kelce, your thoughts on us having these very close circuit games when there's no business to having close circuit games like this, and I guess how long is this lucky streak going to last going into the postseason? Because, by the way, because of this win, which to me, unless I'm missing something, I think there's a vague cloud somewhere that tells me that this isn't the first time the Chiefs have literally advanced into the playoffs being announced the first time towards the end of the season.
So my take on this, I'm just sitting back and I'm watching. I'm coasting. I'm not going back and forth with people on social media like I was in the beginning who just want, engagement on a post. At this point, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just, like I said, I'm letting Coach Reed, Brett Veach, Coach Spags, Tube, all them, Tobe, whatever. I'm letting all them do their job. Okay. But interesting, I didn't know this. This is some kind of beta. I guess some kind of beta thing where when you Google something, I don't know if it's on iOS or whatever, but I use an Android. So when you Google, you have like overview, player stats, team stats, more games, and something new that's in beta that I just saw. I mean, it may not be that new. I don't know. It's new to me. Discussions. So I guess people can comment on, what they just saw, I guess. So for instance, I Googled Chiefs versus Raiders, just to see, get the stats and all that stuff. And you can have a discussion under that. So first discussion 6 hours ago. Well, it's not the first one, but it's at the top. It's most recent, I guess. 6 hours ago by someone called the Harris family. So I'm guessing that's probably their Google handle. Disappointed in the Chiefs. Our last win has been on luck, not so much on talent. Chiefs need to put their head back in the game and play like some Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. At first, I was like, okay, I understand your frustration. A lot of people's frustration that the Chiefs ain't blowing teams out and putting up crazy numbers. And it seems like that they are getting by on luck because final possessions of the game where they should lose, something magical happens every damn time. And it's like the block field goal, the snap where the the AOC wasn't ready. Something crazy happened. The toe out of bounds with the Ravens. So I understand, but it's the last part of the Harris family comment about that Chiefs Raiders game. Put their head back in the game and play like Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell do you think they're doing right now?
Yep.
They're playing like Super Bowl champions.
They're finding ways to win.
Yes. So regardless of the outcome or how ugly the win is, they're playing like some Super Bowl champions. Everyone is caught up on Buffalo, the Lions, how they're putting up these crazy numbers or whatever on teams, and it just looks like a runaway game. Buffalo yesterday, yes, Sunday night, they did a number on San Francisco. I don't think it was because Buffalo just outplayed them simply. I mean, yes, that's a part of it. But what it was San Francisco wasn't ready. I don't know if they didn't look at the damn forecast. I don't know what it was, because everybody on San Francisco was slipping and sliding across that damn field covered in snow. But if you look at the Buffalo players, they wasn't sliding as much. So they were prepared for the game. They had the proper cleats. Most of them had gloves on. San Francisco came out there dressed like they are in San Francisco playing. Yep. And that right there was a big advantage for Buffalo. I mean, and I take nothing away from the Bills. They did great. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Beat San Francisco's butt. And they did it. But to me, I felt like if San Francisco was, and this falls on Kyle Shanahan, just like he didn't know the goddamn, or he didn't tell his team the overtime rules in the postseason. He must didn't tell them, hey, you guys need certain cleats and stuff to play in the snow because we're going to Buffalo and it's going to be snowing like crazy up there.
Yep.
They were very much not prepared for that game yesterday. But everyone is looking at this and they're using the Chiefs as a measuring stick. Chiefs back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and they looking at the Chiefs' success over the, since the Mahomes era, and they like, well, I know they're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, but damn, what's wrong with them this year?
Mm-hmm.
They're fine. They're fine. In my opinion, they're fine. I mean, would I like to see them, do what they were capable of doing at one point in time? Yeah, but, we all know nothing stays the same, right? I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Here's my take on that, and just like you, I've seen all of the folks that are bitching and moaning and this and that about the game and how lucky we are, blah 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 blah. First and foremost, if people weren't badgering us, they would be in the same situation as us. And they're not. And I think it is just wild to me when people who are Denver fans are trying to cut a promo and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I think of one in particular individual that I personally know that I met in college, and we were roommates and we were friends, blah, blah, blah. We still are friends. But I always joke, for lack of a better term, that he groomed his girlfriend into being a Broncos fan, because anything that is anti-Chiefs, she's one of those people that she's just going to repost or put on her feed or whatever, and this and that. There was a very blatantly obvious photoshopped meme or whatever of Patrick and Brittany at the polls voting for Trump and whatnot. And the caption read like, "Do you want to support this quarterback who doesn't support your trans kids?" or something like that. And I'm just like, this is blatantly fake. And it's people like that. It's people like that. I'm not going to say her name, but God damn it, change your shit. But
that's ridiculous,
but,
man.
It's just stuff like that. But
Patrick,
you have
Patrick
those arguments.
playing
Yeah,
football.
no, it is ridiculous. Yeah, he's playing football. Let whatever. Like I'm not even trying to get into that subject. But what I'm trying to say is, you have all of these fans that are part of like dynamic losing teams. I have people from the wrestling family that are diehard Raiders fans. God bless them, and they're like, "Oh, that was baloney," and the Chiefs cheated and blah blah. Like, bro, like your center hiked the ball into your quarterback's chest. Like, how did they cheat? It's not like It's not like Chris Jones told them, "Hey, go ahead and hike the ball, see what happens." You know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the defensive linemen said hike, and that's what made him snap the ball. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's the part that gets me, is that the Chiefs are cheating. The NFL scripted it. The NFL rigged it. And I'm like, like it used to piss me off to hear people say that. I'm like, dude, you got to be. It's scripted and it's rigged because your team is a POS, because your team ain't winning nothing. That's what's crazy. But then I thought about it. I'm like, if somebody has a shit ton of influence against the Shield, and the Shield is the NFL, they will say something, and that somebody's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
If he felt like there was some BS going on, and I'm sure all the other owners of the in the rest of the league felt the same way. If they felt like there was some cheating or something rigging going on, you really think they're gonna sit back and not say anything?
No.
Like, this will be plastered. The NFL will be no more for the most part. So everyone who's saying it's rigged and all that, you sound dumb as hell, because if it's rigged and you 100% in your heart and soul feel like it's rigged and the NFL is cheating for the Chiefs and all that stuff, why are you supporting the product?
Exactly.
What's the point? That says a lot about your damn team, that they some punk ass biatches, because they ain't said nothing about this.
They are. And at least, of course, looking forward to the Chiefs Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Take a shot every time Chris Collinsworth mentions Patrick Mahomes or says, "Now here's a guy." Listen, Taryn, I would love to, but first and foremost, I will be at dispatch, so that'll make the shift a little bit interesting for me on my side, dealing with the Kansas City Crazy. Second off, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So anybody who is capable of doing that challenge, uh, just remember they do have some drinks over at your local gas station that will take care or the lack of electrolytes that you will be suffering from that morning, and hopefully you can drink that, chug that, whatever the case may be, so you can make yourselves on by ready to go to work. um, I, Yet, all I got to say is, am I happy as a diehard Chiefs fan that we're having these close ass games? No, I'm not. I about had a heart attack watching the game against the Panthers last weekend when we won 30-27. I expected, I mean, it's one of those things where you're on a roll, but you're just like, okay, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. Something's going to happen. And boy, howdy, when we went to Buffalo, we lost 30-21, and that's just the breaks, and that's fine. I mean, there was no reason for us to win 16-14. It should have been like 46-14, if even, against Denver. 30-24, I'd give it to the Buccaneers, but we won that. We won by a touchdown in Las Vegas. No reason for that. 28-18, I get it. Against San Francisco, and then I'm looking at others. Los Angeles 17-10, we beat them by 7. Atlanta, we beat them 22-17. Cincinnati, Jesus Christ, that was the game. 26-25. And then Baltimore 27-20. I don't understand why we lost to the Bears. I don't understand why we lost to Detroit. Actually, no, I take that back. I do now, because they've had a very solid season this year, Detroit. If we don't see them in the postseason somewhere, I will be anxiously surprised.
I mean, and that was preseason. Like, I mean, it made Detroit feel good. I mean, as soon as they won, they went to their social media admin team went to social media, was like, another successful trip to Kansas City. And I mean, it's preseason. Hopefully we get the Super Bowl that I want, which is the Lions in Kansas City, and then we'll go from there.
We'll go from there. There is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under Chwakat Sank. There are 5 games left of the season. And I'm going down the list right now, and I'm going to see which games I'm going to be able to watch. Sunday against the Chargers, that will be very difficult, especially if my captain is around, because I won't be able to watch that live off of my phone and not get yelled at. But then against Cleveland, against Houston, I'm going to assume because we don't get holidays off because we have to deal with Kansas City Crazy. So I will be watching the Christmas game. And then we don't have a time or a place. Well, we do have a place, but we don't have a time or date for week 18 to finish off the season against Denver. So 1, 2, 3.
Will probably be Carson Wentz anyway.
It probably will. So one out of the 3 games for the rest of the season I won't be able to watch, and I'm not including Denver because we just don't know the time frame on that, which, like you said, will probably be Carson Wentz. But other than that, unless something changes, maybe I will be able to watch Sunday's game. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. But regardless, I am anxious. I feel like a good anxious. I feel like the rest of the season is just going to be a sailboat, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Houston is probably going to try to give us their best shot. Like all these teams, they have to try to prove something to somebody. I don't know who it is they're proving it to. We don't really care. No. But I'm sure, they because we're coasting. We're playing with house money. We don't care. Like, we could not make it to the Super Bowl and still be okay. The only thing that's going to be pissed off is that, hey, we were trying to three-peat. That's it. Yeah. That's the ultimate goal, anyway. And we all know that. It wasn't to have an undefeated season. It was just to three-peat. And if the Chiefs, see, like right now, Buffalo is, they want the 1 seed. Mm-hmm. That's their goal right now, is the 1 seed. We don't give a shit.
Nope.
We don't care. We 1 seed, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed. We will go back on the road and hand you the business again. That's the Chiefs mentality. We don't care. It would be great. Yeah, the 1 seed's great because you get that bye or whatever. But which the Chiefs need because they bye was so fucking early in the season and they had to play all these games. So yeah, they definitely need to bye. And then it also help if Hollywood is actually slated to come back for the Christmas game or whatever. Yes, that bye would definitely help. But either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm more excited about this Chargers-Chiefs game. We beat the Chargers. We clinched the AFC, or we the AFC West champs or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm good. Another fucking trophy.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too. It's almost like cinema. Yeah. If you will. We've won it back to back, and now we're definitely going for the 3. And I don't know about you, I was not expecting a up until Buffalo undefeated season. I wasn't. But Pat said it best. Yeah, the undefeated streak was cool, but we're not worried about that. We're worried about winning the Super Bowl and whatnot. That's always been his goal. And there's something deep down in my core that's telling me that if they really believe that, if it's not just Pat, if every single person, including D-Hop, which will be, he's a part of the team, but, it's not part of the legacy, but that's fine. Neither was Dennis Rodman once upon a time. Neither was, there's another guy. I can't think of him right now. He wasn't Jordan. He wasn't Scotty. He wasn't, Horace Grant. He was, yeah. That's for another show. But, he's still part of the team. So I'm sure now he's got that mentality. Like, he gets it now. I definitely know that Pop's got that mentality. He wants to be back on the big stage. I know that with Worthy and Hollywood and all those kids and whatnot, this will be nerve-wracking for them, but they got Juju who's been there. They've got you know, the captains with Chris Jones and Travis and Pat and you know, whoever else that I'm forgetting right now.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. All they need to worry about, which the cinema part is, yeah, we had an undefeated season until Buffalo. Now we're trying to win. Now, to my knowledge, we were the first announced team to make it to the playoffs. You know, indefinitely. And then now, all we have to do is just beat Los Angeles, and we've clinched the division again. Again. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Not because of the fact because we are already in the postseason, but because of the fact that it's just cinema. Yep. If you play your cards one step at a time during this entire movie up until February, the payoff is just going to be so stupid. Mm-hmm. I might actually take my skinny ass up to downtown Kansas City by Union Station and watch this parade.
Yeah.
I'll call in.
Oh yeah. I haven't been to none of them. Not one, but you three-peat, yeah, I'm there.
Listen, at this point, and I'm not trying to make fun of last year by any means. I'm going to repeat and say this. I am not making fun or making light of what happened last year. If it means that we got a three-peat and my skinny ass makes it on by to Kansas City, I don't care if I get shot. It'll be worth it. Jeez. It will be worth it. Jeez. Honestly.
The views and opinions of the franchise is not associated with IE Sports Radio.
This is the disclaimer. It's kind of like on Home Improvement with Tim the Toolman Taylor and Al Borland. You can send your letters to care of Tim Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm not making light. I swear to God, I'm not. It was a very tragic situation, but I'm just saying, in general statement, no deaths, no nothing. I'm not worried about getting shot. Because I will be there for the three-peat celebration. That is just history in the making, folks. Folks, thank you so much for dealing with my stupid ass, and thank you so much for dealing with Bishop's calm self and what have you for another episode of This is KC Sports. Of course, you can follow us on the Twitter and the Face and the TikTok and YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Just look us on up, IE Sports Radio, all one word. Of course, on the Twitter, you can follow us on This is KC _IESR. You can follow me at Real Franchise, and you can follow my man Bishop at XRunners with a Z at the end. Of course, you know, help us support all of the other crew members on IE Sports Radio. That we previously mentioned at the bottom of the hour and what have you. Folks, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you that have been watching us on the live stream. I appreciate Taryn and Dre being part of the show and the messages privately that I got on my phone. Thank you so much for watching us do our thing and seeing what I do and seeing what Bishop does on a Monday or what have you. It is 6:02 Central Daylight Time. I think, just as always, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. For Bishop, my name is Brandon the Franchise Buck, the greatest of all time, the best in the world, more importantly, the owner of the world. We will catch you next week.